Hello, I'm Leisa Holland-Nelson, co-host of Culture Club HTX, and so excited to be here today for our 10th episode.
Yay! Me too. We need to have a little horn or something. Anyway, I'm Shavonnah Schreiber, the other half of Culture Club HTX, and we made it.
We did.
We're 10.
10. We actually are into our first week of our third month on the air.
Yay! That feels like a piece of jewelry. You know, I always want to buy a piece of jewelry.
Well, can we get charms?
I don't really
I don't like charm bracelets. What am I saying?
And to celebrate our 10th episode, we have the man with the plan, Mr. David Gow, here with us. Welcome.
Well, thanks. It's great to be here. And well, congratulations on 10 episodes.
I mean, that's really a lot, right?
I feel like it's a lot.
Well, you kept the language clean. There have been no F-bombs to take you off the air. You guys are behaving yourselves very nicely.
Oh, well, F-bombs get you off the air.
Well, believe it or not, they will. Michael will definitely bleep them out if that happens.
This is true.
You're in good hands with Michael.
Oh, I mean, we're a clean, family-friendly show, folks.
I'd like to think so.
No F-bombs.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, you've had a dream team lineup of guests. I mean, I saw Dr. Juliette Breeze on here recently, and she's the best. And after her, everything is downhill, I guess.
No.
That's how I see it.
You're a little downhill. But
Yeah, that's how I see it. Yes, very much so.
Okay, so I have a surprise. So we're going to go to CJ's Corner, which is our sports section, which is CJ's Corner because
of Coach Nelson, the greatest football coach who never walked a sideline. That would be me. I have never made a bad call. You may not know this, but all my friends do.
This is a big reveal.
And I have a football husband. I have a girlfriend who hates football. So I have her seat on the 40-yard line in the club level at the Texans game.
Fantastic. When are you taking me?
You know, I bet Rusty
you got to get in
will
line.
come with us. Hi, Rusty. I always say hi. He always listens.
I'm always angling here.
Exactly.
Hey, angle away.
I'm trying.
Oh, guess what?
Tell me.
We're getting media passes for the Texans because we're on ESPN Radio.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. I would have thought the Texans would have been recruiting you to show up long before you got into media, just to have you two in the building.
I think the SaberCats.
There's good mojo with you two.
Speaking of recruitment,
yes,
I have a surprise. So last night I went to Inside the Draft with Nick. What's his last name? Casario at the NRG.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
That must have been
and you
fun.
didn't take me?
This is what happened. That
she
guy
didn't take
from
me
PNC, he texted me at like 5. It was like, I know this is last minute, but I have a pass for you. Do you want to go with me?
Oh,
and I was like,
are you kidding?
Yeah. So I went. And I got to add to my College Basketball Hall of Fame trophy a 1-year contract that I then negotiated with Nick.
Look at this.
From the Houston Texans. And
it's signed.
He signed it.
And that signing bonus, you're on your way.
We're still negotiating. And
oh, for God's sake.
What
she really has a player contract.
I
do. Really does.
And I have gifts for you.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
Oh my God.
And I have a cookie for whoever eats cookies, because not me.
Cookies, contracts, t-shirts.
And I have
bells,
a lapel
whistles,
pin.
And a lapel pin.
Oh, this is so fab. This is the new HTX.
I know. That's my big surprise.
This is the coolest thing ever.
As if Leisa needed any more bling. I really don't think that she does. But maybe she does.
No, that will look cute
It'll
today.
look good on her.
Oh, I am so excited. Everybody knows how excited I am about the Texans this year, especially my beloved CJ Stroud.
Isn't it amazing to think about how far they've come in such a short period of time? I mean, they were the laughingstock of town 18 months ago. And now they're the jewel of the city.
Oh,
everybody is so excited about what the Texans are going to do this year.
And scrambling to get tickets again.
Yes.
After they gave them away
That's
for
right.
some stupid reason. Whatever. I can't.
No, such a fun development for all of sports in Houston, frankly. But I've long said the best thing that could happen to sports in this town is the Texans to be successful. We're still a football-first city.
Yes.
And it is remarkable what the Texans have done in short order.
So Nick said last night that they're focused on, he didn't say
I noticed
focused
she's on
about.
first name basis with Nick.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know,
she got a signed contract with Nick.
She has Nick. I have CJ and D'Amico.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, is that how it is? Really?
I'll take the leadership.
Y'all have divided
We're
up the
good.
landscape here pretty fast, haven't
I'll
you?
take the leadership. We're good.
Okay, I'm
so
delighted
he said
for you.
they're focused on substance over style, and I was thinking, Nick, style matters, but that's okay. He meant the players.
Did he mean the players?
He meant the players.
uniforms?
He meant the players. Well, we didn't talk about that.
Because Leisa has both style and substance.
This is we.
Oh, you
this
too.
This is what we're saying.
But Nick's emphasizing substance right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Did you stand in front of him and say, but you're signing me and I've got style?
No, but I did say, Nick, we got to negotiate this contract. And he just laughed, cracking up. Because he's a pretty serious fellow.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but he was laughing.
You loosened him up?
Yeah, like, Nick, what's up with this contract? We need to negotiate. I'm not signing it. He just fell out laughing.
I'm
It's so
impressed.
funny. Well, you know, I have this effect on people, David. Come on.
He is a very serious-minded person, but thank goodness he's here running our franchise in a very serious way.
He also said, speaking of, dependability is more important to this team than talent. Meaning, even if you're talented, but we can't depend on you, we don't want you. He didn't say
we already had that experience.
Well, we know.
No fun.
Yeah, we know. So anyway, that was my surprise. And it was great. It was an hour thing. It was an interview. I sat there and stared and then talked to him afterwards and took a picture and got our swag.
Were the new guys there, the recruits?
No. They were just like old people like me.
Well, so what was the party about?
It was this Lux business. I don't even know what this is, but PNC apparently knows what this is, and he had a ticket and he invited me, and I went.
Oh,
so JP Ramirez from PMC, thank you so much, and he's my agent now. I told him, "Do you want to be my agent?"
And I didn't meet him till today, darn.
And that's why I said, "Don't tell her the surprise," because I was like, I told you I had a surprise for you.
I thank you.
I'm filled with surprise. So, David, again, do you agree with me that the Texans are going to go to the Super Bowl in 2025?
2025. So you're talking about this
year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I agree with you that they will be very good, that they will make a deep run into the playoffs, but I'm not as optimistic they're going to win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl yet.
Are you willing to bet money?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, we can.
But I'd hate to bet against you. I mean, I don't want to take your money.
Against both of us.
I'm happy to take Lisa's money.
Yeah, I don't have.
Look, they're on the short list of teams right now in the AFC.
Yeah.
You can name about 4, I think, that are real contenders, and the Texans are one of them, which is an amazing statement to make right now.
I agree.
Are the Bears in the AFC?
Oh, come on.
They had the best draft. The Bears had the
most terrible team, of course.
We got a B+ though, and the Cowboys only got a B, so I wasn't that unhappy.
Well, look, the Bears are going to be a much better team. They're in the NFC, so the Texans can get to the Super Bowl without having to confront the Bears.
That's good.
In the AFC, you're going to have to deal with the Chiefs again. They're the incumbents. They're really, really good. 2-time champions, and Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. Bring it.
And so they're going to be tough.
Kelsey a big contract.
They did. Kelsey signed for another 2 years, and he's exceptional. And really, another 2 years with him might be the end of his career. He's getting into his 30s, and he's obviously deeply committed to a very talented rock star, in case you haven't heard of her.
Yeah, no, who is it?
And she may help with some finances going forward if they do get married. I think they'll be just fine.
I think he has a lot.
Yeah, he could be the pool boy for Taylor Swift.
Not a bad gig.
A lot of people would like, my son would sign up to be the pool boy for Taylor Swift. I can assure you of that. And my youngest is in love with her. So he's 24, and he has graduated from U Chicago. He's living in Austin, and he has been a rabid over-the-top Taylor Swift fan for probably about 5-7 years.
Really?
Oh, he knows every song. He was up late listening to her album when it dropped the other night.
Oh, he's committed.
It's been fun to see. He's very committed. He's more committed to Taylor, though, at this point, than Taylor has shown a commitment to him, sadly. But there may be a future.
No surprise.
Once we get Travis Kelce out of the way.
He's old, right?
He's old.
30. He's out of here.
That's right. Okay. Taylor can come a little younger for my son.
Taylor's actually 3 years older than him.
Is that right?
Pool boy. It's pool boy category.
Travis is younger.
Okay, that doesn't bode well for my son.
Well, there you go. So let's talk about
younger men. You want to talk about other teams coming to town, maybe?
I want to talk. I do, because I want to get David's perspective on. So Tillman now says
not the person, but the
who?
I said not Tillman the person. Tillman wants to bring the NBA.
Yeah, Tillman the person. I'm talking about the person. Yeah. Who are you talking about?
Well,
yeah. Anyway, wants to bring the
David's perspective.
No. Yes, good point. We would like your perspective on Tillman's decision or idea to bring a WNBA team to Houston. Thoughts?
Ooh, that would be fun. We've had one in the past.
And a good one, too.
They were very good. I was there in one of their championship matchups. It was an amazing matchup many years ago now. And look, if they're going to come back, and the WNBA is riding high right now with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA.
That's a big deal.
Interest in women's hoops is at an all-time high, as I see it.
Higher than men's.
Do we say hoops?
I said hoops.
Okay.
I mean,
like
better
a
than
filling
saying
station.
poops. I mean,
No, I just said
women's hoops.
It's hoops.
It's
It
hoops.
is hoops.
And so
You don't think so?
I don't know.
Shavonnah was an All-American basketball player.
I was no, actually NCAA Hall of Fame basketball player.
Oh, and she's moved
Remember?
on.
I've
I
moved
said
up.
you're too young for that.
I've moved
You
up,
can't be in
and
the Hall
now
of
we
Fame.
can add to it Texan for a day.
Well, you have been signed to the contract. I can validate that for the listening audience. It is, in fact, signed by
This is a
Nick
real
Casario.
signature. It's a wet signature.
I am very, very impressed with what's happened here.
You know,
Were they giving these away last night?
See, don't try to diminish my accomplishments with the Texans. This is for me.
Have you got a cookie over there?
This is for you or David.
Oh my goodness!
So
Yeah,
David,
nobody told me about
WNBA.
cooking. No, WNBA. What's exciting, of course, is obviously coming in under Tillman and his empire and being in Toyota Center and filling up that venue on more nights. It's very symbiotic with the Rockets. I think it's a real win. And if not in Houston, Texas, the fourth largest city in the country, where? Why shouldn't the WNBA be in Houston with the Rockets co-located? It just makes perfect sense. I'd love to see it. I think it'd be a great step forward for sports in Houston.
I agree.
We both agree with you. And the other thing he's trying to do is bring the NHL here,
Which
I'm
I
sure
also
you've heard
think
that.
is great.
Which
Yes.
And it's still again in Toyota Center, and I think they probably still have plenty of open nights.
Yep.
to
Well,
do
that's
hockey.
the thing. I mean, obviously, you want to fill up those centers,
Yeah.
those stadiums, just as regularly as you can. I don't know if the calendar would afford 3 teams, but that would be worth investigating. There may be some special games that you'd play in another venue if, in fact, one of the teams was bumped out. I mean, knowing Tillman, I could easily see his moving one of the games down to the University of Houston one night and having a big night in U of H, a U of H
such a
night
big
for
deal.
the WNBA team, whatever they would be called.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
because they have
brilliant,
new
David.
facilities too. Actually, look at you.
Well, I love, if you've
You
not
might
been
have
down,
to be a permanent guest here.
I'm trying my way in. Yeah.
Great.
So Michael Carroll gave me all kinds of tips on what to say, what not to say, how to endear myself to the hosts, and it's going well so far. I think. Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Michael. You gave him great advice.
The University of Houston's basketball facility is very cool. It's not big. It's, I think, relatively small. I think it's around 6,000 people, but there's not a bad seat in that facility. It's wonderfully cozy. It feels intimate. It feels like you're right next to the players and all the action. I think that would be a very cool venue to host some games, maybe for a WNBA franchise getting its first year in Houston. And if there wasn't room at the Toyota Center one night, send it down to U of H, have a special edition U of H night.
I think that's a great idea.
I
And
think
it
this
reminds
is
me of the
brilliant.
McKell. So the University of Arizona, the McKell is not that big. It's not a big state.
Where you played?
Where I played and now in the Hall of Fame. It's not a big facility, but it's like so much energy because it's not a big facility. It's great.
Yes.
So when you said that, I was like, yeah, that actually is a great idea. Tillman, we have you covered. Call us.
Well, I know he's been talking to Leisa most of the day on different affairs.
Well, yeah. Well, of
Yeah,
course.
he asked a lot of my advice.
With the casino empire,
Yeah, for
especially.
sure. I know so much about
You're like
that.
a sage. You're the
Would you
wise
stop
one.
it?
Yeah,
You
sure.
said old.
No, I said old, like old wise one, not old.
Oh,
Okay.
wise one,
Okay.
Lisa
We're not
Holland-Nelson.
using that word.
We don't say
Nelson.
O. We can use OH.
OH is fine. OLD is
I
not.
did not say that. Oh, wise one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
Tell my daughter.
Laura.
that
Okay.
I'm
Anyway.
not old.
So we're going to go to the break, but David's going to stay because then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about business. But before we go to the break,
Astros, boy, that one's a tough one. This has been such a frustrating start to a season. You know what's interesting looking back is, as a sports fan, it's always fun when your team has low expectations entering in and then overachieves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the other end of the spectrum this time with the Astros,
Exactly.
we've gotten so spoiled by their sustained success. It's hard to see
The
what's
fair
happening right
weather
now.
fans have become spoiled. Me, tried and true, am not because I understand.
She
So-
does, but I miss Dusty.
Okay. And with that, we'll be back.
Now I'm in trouble. And we're back. I'm Leisa Holland-Nelson, co-host of Culture Club HTX, here with
Shavonnah Robert Schreiber, the other side of the other side of Culture Club HTX. You know what got me stumped? One, you make me laugh all the time. We've talked about this. The other thing, I said, bring us in. That's like radio talk, I think.
Oh, yeah, she's
10
got it.
episodes in, I'm like doing lingo.
You know, she's
That's
also got...
me doing the lingo. What do you mean? And
I said, bring us in.
Oh, you did?
Well,
Well,
I did.
did you hear her tone when she brought you back in? It's almost like there's a bedroom voice, you know.
Oh, that is.
Welcome back. I'm Leisa Holland-Nelson.
You haven't heard my voicemail.
Oh, it's so funny. I almost
Give
said,
it to me.
oh my God, her voicemail was, thank you for calling me. I'm like, what is happening here?
My Carol is going to need a cold shower after all this.
No, I mean,
just listening to that voice.
Her voicemail is kind of funny. We have to play it. Okay, but
the
David,
windows are steaming in here. This is out of control.
You know how she acts.
Yes.
David, we are so excited to have you with us. This is so much fun, and we want to know more
You're kind of our boss.
Are you our boss?
I mean, if you guys get off the rails here, anything could happen here.
You know you're our boss.
I mean, you better behave.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. So, Gal Media, 16 years. Tell us, what prompted you to start this media empire that you now have?
Well, one thing I'll say, 16 years, what that just shows is, I guess I've aged quite a bit
Don't
in
say
the
old.
time in my media, right?
You're not saying old.
I was young. I had a full head of hair.
You have a full head of hair?
Well, with my toupee, it really works. Just bad windy days aren't good, but otherwise the toupee covers me just fine. No, so we started at 16 years ago, and we were just a sports radio station. And it was great fun to be in the sports radio business. That was really, I think, the peak of the sports radio era. And we were just delighted to launch with foundational talent like John and Lance in the morning, and we were off to the races. But a lot has changed in 16 years.
Yeah. Well, just tell us. One thing, this is the peak. We are the peak. But I get what you're saying.
We've hit another peak.
Yes, here we go.
Well, so some of the things that have changed, obviously, what we've had to do, and we've perceived it was a requirement, is to spread our wings and become more multi-platform. Mm-hmm. So we're not just sports radio anymore. We're more of a multi-platform media company. So that includes radio, but includes our digital assets, Culture Map, Sports Map, Innovation Map, and Energy Capital HTX.
Right. Which is great.
Another HTX.
Another
HTX.
Can you imagine?
Well, yeah, I know. The people at Energy Capital HTX they're a little concerned you guys are going to just soar past them on the hierarchy of all kinds of brands coming out of Gal Media.
They can count on it.
I have no doubt about it. Yeah.
So speaking of us soaring past people, we know we're your favorite show, so you don't have to say that. We already know that. But what format do you like the best? So you've been in this business for 16 years. You just talked about the different digital properties and the other shows. Tell us, in general, when it comes to radio, what format of radio do you most enjoy?
So I do love sports talk, and that was part of my motivation to get into and launch Gal Media. Love sports talk, and look, there's a place in weekday daytime for disciplined sports talk, staying on script, playing the hit topics, talking Texans with great fanfare and great consistency, as well as the Astros and, of course, the Rockets and the Dynamo, etc. But what I love about this show is you guys... And it's particularly wonderful to do on a weekend or an evening where you can come and talk about topics beyond sports. Sports is a wonderful foundation for all conversation. Sports connect people of all backgrounds, all ethnicities, all income streams. Sports are wonderful, universal. But it's fun to branch out beyond sports, to introduce culture. And when you look at Gal Media today, we are living at the intersection of sports, innovation, and culture with our sports assets, Culture Map, certainly, and Innovation Map. We just love living at that intersection, and we think there's a lot of overlap and a lot of fun that comes from sports, culture, and innovation.
Well, you did read your questions, because that was my very next question. Talk to us about the intersection of sports, culture, and literally. That was my next question.
So the way that actually we made a big step out in 2017, and it was basically born out of this intersection of sports and culture. If we go back to 2017, we were solely in sports radio, and we started collaborating with Culture Map on a large-scale party to celebrate the Super Bowl being in Houston.
Oh, right.
And so we had a huge Super Bowl party, and it was the product of ESPN Radio in Houston and Culture Map Houston. And we both marketed this event. It was at Silver Street. It was a sellout event, a banner occasion. And at the end of it, what I realized is, look, never more than the Super Bowl, you see the intersection of sports and culture. Super Bowl is absolutely a sporting event, but it's a big cultural event. The whole world stops to watch it.
Yes.
And that week in Houston, seeing that intersection, seeing it over Super Bowl week, we came out with the conviction to acquire Culture Map and then start our expansion digitally.
I think it was a smart move. I mean, it really, it is, and it's interesting because there is another story we'll talk about in our fashion segment. In the NBA, they talk a lot, or now this intersection of fashion or culture and sports are colliding in the tunnel, right?
You bet they are.
The tunnel walkthrough. So I don't know if that's spilt over to the NFL as much, but I know in the NBA. So NFL,
they're kind of dressed up when they get there. They don't do it in the tunnel. They do it like getting off the bus.
Well, that's what I mean. Off the bus and walking through the tunnel.
Walking into the tunnel, but they don't like that. I don't know. Seems
well, you go back to that the NFL draft.
Yes.
And some of those
my God.
guys in the green room, they were dressed to the nines.
Pink damask.
Little pink,
that
pink
was
suits.
really amazing.
I haven't worn a pink suit in a long time.
Wear it next time.
Well, never. As a matter of fact, never. But these guys,
lime green.
Yeah, they were unabashed. Pink, green, whatever. It didn't matter. It's amazing. Fashion has hit their realm. Absolutely. Yeah. These guys thought a lot about what to wear. They obviously had people making clothing for them. There were custom outfits
grandma or
with those interior on the jackets.
You said people. You mean like grandmothers?
Or I mean high-end stylists, tailors, and all kinds of good folks.
Someone can make something for you. That means you need to wear it.
But I don't know that grandma could have made that pink suit that was on display.
Grandma's sewing skills.
Well, my grandma, I can tell you, could not.
My grandma, I don't think she ever looked at a sewing machine. No.
Okay, so where are we going next? So when we think about
what'll be next.
So you're our boss, right? So boss, where are we?
Do we get a digital plan?
Well, these two right here. I mean, Michael Carroll, the sky's the limit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything. I can't hold this group back. I mean, this is, and by the way, what you all do on social media is wonderful as well. You know, I'm giving you all this love out there because this show is on fire. Everyone's following it. It's really been fun to see. I mean, 10 episodes in, and you've obviously got a large and loyal listenership. It's really been fun to see the show develop.
So, okay, what are we doing next then? So forget about overall Gal Media.
Never mind everyone else. What about you?
What do you see for us? So no, because I do. You're the expert in this space, obviously. And so if you had to give us advice, which we're asking you for, so what do you think should be our sort of next move, next play to really catapult from where we are now?
I would say to anyone in the content creation business, which you are now, you're creating content on a regular basis. You want to be omni-channel. You want to take all that content you're creating and putting it on as many different platforms as possible. Certainly this show can be heard live on radio. It can be heard on stream. You've got video opportunities. And then, of course, you're pushing it out onto social. So that's a wonderful strategy and approach. And look at what you've done. You've already created something that's multimedia, audio and video, and multi-platform across a lot of different platforms to access as many audiences as you can. And that's a really strategic and thoughtful way to go to market.
So are we getting a raise?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can afford. Once I wrote the check for your wardrobe, it was over.
That's part of it.
I mean, that was a big number for us at Gal Media.
Are we getting a raise?
Yes.
Okay, well, good.
Can we do one more business thing?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit innovation business.
Yes.
There's a couple of things going on. I got the strangest outreach. I'm getting a lot of outreach on LinkedIn since we started the show.
People inquiring about the show.
Yeah, but also stuff. And actually, you recommended this person to me.
Oh boy.
Anyway, I don't know her. She said you told her to get in touch with me. I said why.
Yeah.
I said why before I accepted her invitation, and she said because she is an entrepreneur. And she was talking about the startup capital situation in Houston. Yes. The capital is all late stage, which and how hard it is. Well, I know the queens of the startup capital in Houston. I mean, and the fact that there isn't enough here is just shocking to me because I know so many people that I think are involved in that. But maybe they're not. You know, maybe it's not. I mean, startup goes from proof of concept. You know, it doesn't. You don't have to have the product yet. You've got people supporting you through it all. So that is an exciting thing for us to see how much we can talk about it and what's next. The other part of what I want to talk about has to do with your family.
Oh, Lord.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Well, you're having another grandchild.
I'm having two more grandchildren.
Are they twins or two separate?
Well, separate. So my oldest, Lawson, and his wife, Lauren. Lauren is pregnant again and delivering in the fall, and it'll be our second grandchild.
That's
A
exciting.
girl we know. And then my third son, Christopher Gao, whom you don't know, he lives in Chicago. He's married to a lovely woman, Katie Burdine Gao, and they're going to have a baby in the fall as well. And it too will be a girl.
Well, I only know about Lauren because I saw her the other day. And I went, oh, whoa, what's that? Did I not say that?
Not just seasonal weight gain.
No,
She's
no,
really pregnant. Yes.
let me touch it.
Yeah.
I said, can I, I always ask.
Yes.
Because you're polite.
But anyway, Lauren's fabulous husband, whom I also just adore.
Well, thank you. Yeah, they're doing great. And their first baby is now 2.5 years
really
old.
Great.
Her name's Busy, and we absolutely
I love
adore her. She just, when I spend time with her, my blood pressure goes down.
We should invite her on the show.
Yeah, well, Busy has a lot of wisdom to share.
I know. We should invite her on the show. She can sit right here.
Yes.
You stand up.
She won't sit here for long. She'll be
That's okay. We have 2
fussing
minutes
around and doing all kinds of activity. Yeah, she's really a delight.
Anyway, I want to preface this with Shavonnah was concerned about bringing this up to you. She doesn't want me to upset you.
Yes.
But I want to know how we can help bring this Pocatuck Festival
to
Houston, because she's been on at South by Southwest a ton. I've been on panels there. I want it here.
Mm-hmm.
So what can we do? I'm disappointed that we're not going to have it, but not so disappointed because I was totally uninvolved.
Sure.
And it's Lawson and Chris, my other favorite.
Yeah, Chris, my other adopted son.
I love Chris.
So what do we need to do? We can be the host.
To help?
Well, I think it's barring some issue. I think, it's been pushed out a year.
Yeah.
But it's on track, barring an issue, to be here in Houston on April 20 and 25.
Okay.
And now, there have been other locations or cities that have expressed interest and maybe even economic incentives to take the festival there. But those are early conversations.
It's a new concept, right? It doesn't exist already.
That's right.
Except as a technology section maybe of South by Southwest.
No, that's absolutely right. I mean, the premise of it is that sports tech is a really exciting category. Technology is innovating the sports industry in many, many different ways, from things like esports to fantasy and gambling to health and wellness. All these devices we carry and watch on our wrists. I mean, these things are changing the way that people train, perform, coach, recover, all that. And then fan engagement, new VR experiences, et cetera. So tech is transforming sports, and Pocatuck wants to celebrate sports and the coming of technology that brings fans closer to sports. So it's a very exciting project. And already, when they were envisioning doing it in 2024, they did sign up tons of people across the sports landscape from across the country to come to Houston. And so those parties would be on the docket to come in 2025. But those parties include people like the parties who put on the top pickleball tournament every year and the top cornhole tournament every year. So they're real sports that would be played outdoors at Discovery Green. And then there'll be sports business conversations taking place in the Georgia Around Convention Center, panel conversations on the future of the sports business.
I think that's fantastic. And I think we would be fabulous hosts and people to be involved.
And MCs.
Broadcasting live this show right there on site.
Imagine?
Yes.
We've done it. We're doing live remotes.
Did you know that?
Live remotes are
We're
the
going
best.
to do one at Next Level. We did one at Veronica Beard. We're going to Dr. Angela Stern.
You're going to do one at the Next Level Workout Center? No. Yes.
We're not sure exactly
which location, but we're going to Next Level.
We think we're going to San Felipe, the urgent care.
Oh, you're going to Next Level Urgent Care. There's a Next Level Fitness Center in my head.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
Well, we can. Do you know that? We can.
Well, we know
that's the one at the
we
top,
will and we can.
You know, the Next Level Workout Center is right near West University. It's over basically Bissonnette and Wesleyan.
Yeah, it's by Bearings. It's like behind Bearings.
Oh,
I know where it is. Yeah, I know where it is. It's pretty high profile.
Okay, so are we?
And
are we out of time?
Of course, we're out of time because Leisa, you kept talking. But that's okay.
I had extra stuff to ask, and if you liked it, please comment.
Well, yes, I mean I do love to come back to this whole point about venture investing and innovation in the city of Houston.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
We'll have another segment.
Great.
You can come back next week if you want.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, with that, we'll go to a break and we will continue to solidify our hosting of the conference, the Sports Tech Conference in 2025. We'll be back.
Awesome.
Yay!